So welcome to the electrical machines 2 laboratory. Today we will be conducting the experiment on load test on DC shunt motor. Okay, and we will be interested to obtain the following characteristic curves: efficiency versus output power, speed versus torque, torque versus armature current, and torque versus output. So these are the four characteristics we are interested to plot. Okay. So to conduct this experiment, we are using the following apparatus: ammeter of 0 to 20 amps in line and 0 to 2 amps in field, voltmeter of 0 to 300 volts to measure the output voltage. If I want to measure armature voltage, we can also connect the armature voltmeter across armature. Rheostats we will be using to control the speed, to put that rheostat into the field circuit. Okay, in the previous experiment we know how to control the speed, so we will be using rheostat to control the speed. Tachometer we use to measure the speed. Okay, so this testing method is the direct testing method because we are directly loading the motor with the mechanical load on the brake drum arrangement. Hence it is called a direct test method also. Okay, so the readings obtained by this method or the performance parameters obtained by this method are highly accurate because the motor is actually loaded in its operation and then the performance parameters are found. Okay, so to do this experiment we need to connect the circuit as per the circuit diagram. I will not be showing you how to do the connections because connections you are very much familiar with, as this is the second machines laboratory you people are studying. So hoping that you know the connections how to do, I will be directly explaining you the conduction. Okay. So this is a supply switch. So this, through this supply switch we will be getting 220 volt DC supply from the rectifier. Okay, so we have a 300 volt 100 ampere rectifier in our lab. So the positive terminal of the supply is connected to positive terminal of the ammeter, line ammeter, and the negative terminal of the line ammeter is connected to line terminal of 3-point starter. Okay, positive terminal of the supply voltage or supply terminals is connected to the line terminal, the positive terminal of the ammeter. Okay, positive terminal of the ammeter. Complete concept.
Okay. ನೀವು ಹೋಗಿ ಸರ್.
Panel purti kanaslu.
Okay.
So positive terminal of the supply is connected to the positive terminal of the line ammeter. 0 to 15 amperes ammeter we have on the panel board. We are using the same 0 to 15 amperes. It is sufficient for me because the motor rating is 12 amperes. Okay. Negative terminal is connected to the line terminal of 3-point starter. So these LAF are the 3 terminals of 3-point starter, which is the 3-point starter present over there. Okay. So this is a 3-point starter. The connections of 3-point starter is shown, are connected here. So for our convenience of the connection, panel board purti barabu.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸರ್. ಓಕೆ.
Then armature terminal is directly connected to armature. Because I am using 3-point starter, I will not be using any rheostat in series with armature. Okay, so we are reducing one component by doing so. If I don't use 3-point starter, then I can use a series rheostat in armature, keep it in the cut-in position and slowly bring that to cutout. In that way I can control the inrush of the current in DC motor. Okay, so armature terminal of 3-point starter connected to armature positive, armature negative is connected to the negative terminal of the supply. So armature connection is very simple and is over. Field terminal of 3-point starter is connected to field ammeter, which is 0 to 2 amperes. Okay. So field current will be very much less, it will be almost less than 1 amperes every time. So we are using 0 to 2 amperes range of ammeter. Connected to positive terminal of the ammeter, 0 to 2 amps. Ammeter is connected to, okay, as per this circuit diagram. Okay. Armature is connected to armature, negative terminal is connected to supply. Field is connected to ammeter, field ammeter. Okay, negative of field ammeter is connected to positive of field supply, field terminal. Negative of field terminal is connected to one terminal of rheostat, other terminal is connected to negative supply. Okay, so the same connection is done here. field terminal of 3-point starter is connected to ammeter. Okay, you can observe field terminal of 3-point starter is connected to ammeter. Okay, negative of ammeter is connected to field terminal of the field winding. Negative of field winding is connected to one terminal of the rheostat. Okay, other terminal of rheostat is connected to the supply negative of supply terminal. Okay, so this does the connection. This will serve the connections. Now we will see what is the procedure. Okay, so the procedure goes like this. Connections are made as per the circuit diagram. Make the connections as per the circuit diagram. Keep the field rheostat of the motor in minimum position. Okay, and ensure load on the brake drum is 0. So we will ensure the field rheostat is in minimum position. So the two terminals used are the variable terminal and the fixed terminal near to the variable terminal. So with this, the slider being in this position, the slider being in this position, this part of the wire, resistive wire, will not be including in the circuit. Hence, the current enters from this terminal through slider, it will exit from this terminal. This part of the wire, resistive wire, is not in the circuit, hence this is in the cutout position or minimum resistance position. Okay, now one point is ensured that my rheostat is in minimum resistance position. My second point is the load is released on the brake drum. So there should not be any load on the brake drum. You can observe both the spring balances are reading 0. Okay, and the belt is very much loosely connected, hence the load on the brake drum is also ensured to be 0. Okay. Now the third procedure, step number 3, bring the motor to its start the motor with the help of 3-point starter. Okay, and bring the motor to its rated speed by adjusting the field rheostat. Okay. So now I will turn on the supply terminals. This is the miniature circuit breaker I will be using as a switch and also as the protective device. If there is by mistake any short circuit occurring in the circuit, even during connection, if I make any mistake and create a short circuit, my MCB will trip immediately before the fault occurs on the load side. Okay, so this is the switch as well as the protective device. So this is miniature circuit breaker of 32 amperes capacity, okay, range. Now I have closed the supply switch. You can observe the voltage applied is 215 volts. There will be some drop from the rectifier to this terminal. So I am getting 215 volts. If I want exactly 220 volts, I can increase the rectifier voltage. But because only one machine is running, I will not do that. Okay, I will simply operating this machine at 215 volts itself. I will take supply voltage as 215 volts constant. Okay, so voltage is applied, but motor is not at running because I have not yet used the starter to start it. So start the motor using 3-point starter. The slider of this 3-point starter must be varied, not too slowly and also not too fast. Okay, if it is varied too slowly, then a large amount of voltage drop will occur in the starter. If I vary too fast, then the effect of resistance in the starter will not be shown in the inrush current. To limit the inrush current, it may create a short circuit. So therefore, with a moderate pace, I have to vary the slider. Okay. And once you vary, try to press it at the end. Sometimes if there is a loose contact, then it may fall back and disconnect the motor from the supply. Now the motor is running at some speed and it is not ensured the speed is rated. Okay, so this is the field current. The field current drawn is around 0.7 amperes. Okay, and this is the line current drawn, which is the no load line current, which is equals to 1.4 amperes. So the current rating of the motor is 12 amperes. The no load current is 1.4 amperes. Now we will check the speed. We will see whether the speed is at rated value or not. If it is at rated value, we will conduct the experiment with further process by loading the motor. Okay. If the speed is not rated value, then I have to adjust a field rheostat to get the rated speed. So the speed obtained is 1450 rpm. The speed obtained is 1450 rpm. The rated speed is 1500 rpm. Therefore, slightly I will be varying the field rheostat of the motor. Okay, I will be checking the speed once again. Okay, now the field rheostat is varied, and I will check the speed once again. Now the speed is around 1484. Still it has not reached the rated value. I will vary the field rheostat somewhat again, and I will check the speed. The speed is 1516. It has crossed the rated value, so I should slightly reduce or vary the rheostat in reverse way. The speed is around 1506 rpm. Okay, so slight variation, 6 rpm doesn't make much difference with respect to 1500 value. So now we will assure that we have ensured that the speed is at rated value. The load on the motor is 0. Okay, now first reading we will take the no load reading. Okay, so we always, when we conduct the experiment load test on any motor, we always take one no load reading, so that we will be knowing what are the circuit parameters at no load conditions. Okay, so the voltage applied is 215 volts. So I will note voltage, serial number 1, voltage as 215 volts. Line current is 1.4 amperes. Okay. Speed is 1506 rpm. Okay. Since the load on the motor is 0, my force F1 and F2 will be 0. Okay, it will be 0, and difference will be 0. Field current ISH is 0.55 amperes. It is nearly 0.6. I will take 0.6 amperes. Okay, it was 0.7 because I increased the field resistance to increase the speed. Okay, so it has gone down by 0.1 amperes. So armature current IA, okay, it can be calculated at the later stage once we take all the set of readings. Okay, IA will be, okay, IA is equals to IL minus ISH. It can be calculated at the later stages. Okay, so now what is the next process is, I have to vary the load on the motor, increase the load on the motor gradually, and at each step of increase I should note down the readings of all the meters and the spring balances. I can increase the load only up to the rated speed of the, rated current of the motor. The rated current of the motor is 12 amperes. In the specification it is mentioned 12 amperes. So therefore the maximum current what I can reach is 12 amperes. Okay, so what I will do is, now the no load current is at 1.4 amperes. I will vary the load in steps of some around 2 amperes, so that I can get some 4 to 5 readings. Okay, so I will vary the load. Okay, I can vary this wheel. To vary the load, I will be increasing the tension on the belt. Okay. So I will be increasing the tension on the belt. So the spring balances will be reading, these two spring balances will be reading the force applied on the rotor or on the brake drum. Okay. So I vary the load taking the reference of current. Okay. So it is 1.4 amperes. I will vary up to 3 amperes of current. Then after that I will take the current of every 2 ampere step. Okay. So you can observe the tension on the belt will increase when the tightness on the belt, the readings of the spring balances will be observed when the tension on the belt will be increased. So the two spring balances, there is a vibration here. Okay, vibration of these pointers. I will take the maximum point where it is reaching. Okay, so F1 and F2, it is generally the difference of F1 and F2. Generally the difference of F1 and F2. F1 I will take whichever is showing the larger value. Okay, so F1 is, I will be taking it as 2.1 kg. The maximum vibration is reaching at 2.1, and F2 I will take it as 0.8 kg. Okay, so F1 is 2.1. F1 is 2.1 and F2 is 0.8. F1 minus F2 can be calculated later. Okay. Field current will remain constant, it won't change. It will be 0.6, around 0.6. The line current, is 3 amperes. Line current is 3 amperes. Supply voltage will remain constant, 215 volts. Then the speed, (1494 RPM). Speed 1494 RPM. Okay. So this is my second reading. This is my second reading. You just follow my lead. I will very much just force it. Now for the next reading, I will be varying the load to show that to get the current of 5 amperes. Okay. So current is around 5 amperes. Line current is 5 amperes. My spring balances are 3.9 and 0.9. Current is 5 amperes. 3.9 and 0.9 are the spring balance. Line current is 5 amperes. Supply voltage is 250 volts constant. Field current is 0.6 ampere constant. Then I should be checking the speed. So speed is 1474 RPM. So for next value, for next load condition, I will be again varying this load wheel and I will be taking it at 7 amperes. The line current I will be varying up to 7 amperes. There is no compulsion that I should be varying in steps of 2 amperes. You can take in 1 ampere step also. Why I am taking this? I am taking current as reference to vary this. So the line current is now 7 amperes. Spring balances are reading 6.5 and 1.4. spring balances are reading 6.5 and 1.4. Field current will remain constant 0.6. Voltage will remain constant 250. Now the speed will be is 1444 rpm. Okay, the speed is 1444 rpm. The next load condition I will take it as 9 amperes at 9. So spring balances are reading 8.6 and 1.7. My speed is 1426 rpm. Okay, speed is 1426 rpm. My supply voltage and field current will remain constant. Now it is at 9 amperes. Next I will take the full load current 12 amperes directly. So the load is 11.8 and 2.8. F1 is 11.8. F2 is 2.8. Speed is 1404 rpm. Speed is 1404 rpm. Supply voltage will remain constant 215 volts. Okay, I will take it as constant, though it is slightly varying. Okay, and field current is 0.6. Okay, so now I cannot vary the load further because my motor has reached its full load condition 12 amperes. Okay, so if I vary the load further, then motor will be in overload condition, which is not the desirable operation of any system. Okay, so we will finish the conduction, and to finish the conduction we should be doing exactly the reverse way. Now I have increased the load, I should decrease the load and make it 0 on the motor first. Okay. Now reduce the load on the motor, making the load on the motor 0. Then bring back the rheostat to its original position, that is minimum value in the field. Then switch off the supply. Don't switch off using the starter. Okay, we should switch off directly the main switch. Automatically starter will go to its original position when the coil will demagnetize. Okay, if not it goes to original position, okay, we can use hands to take the lever back, but you should not be taking the lever back when the supply is on. Okay, so this is the conduction, and these are the set of readings what you can see for the load test. These readings will be forwarded you in the form of the snap. Okay, I will send you these readings to the class group. You can do the calculations. Already you have the lab manual along with your soft copy. You can refer that lab manual and do the calculations. Okay, and you can record them in the record if you have, or in the plain sheet you do the calculations. Okay, so this is all about the load test of DC shunt motor. Okay, so we will finish it. Thank you for joining.